a man who fights crime, and we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time with John and Niall, and I guess you just rhyme with Bat Minutes!
Kojak, Columbo, Dirty Harry, Wimps! Oh! Hello once again, listeners. We are back with very loosely related Bat-Minute content. Yay! I'm John Parker.
And you're about 10 seconds away from hearing the best co-host of your life. It's me, Niall McGowan. Up!
I apologise to everyone who knows me that I'm going to be doing O's for the next 6 months.
There's going to be more of me screaming, oh, than since my last Sopranos rewatch.
I thought you were going to do a dirty joke there, so never mind.
I have to ask this before we get into introducing the guest, John, just quickly before I forget, because you just read the tagline. Is the O part of the tagline?
No, I added that.
Oh, okay.
Because that wouldn't really work in text form.
I don't know. I think people could, people were into dice back in the day, so they might have known exactly what that O was.
Well, that's going to be a question I have for our guests, if he did that as part of his act, because I don't know. We'll get into that. We're joined, once again, by Audra and Brett. Hello.
Hello. I mean,
oh.
Were you doing
hello?
Were you doing a hello in reference to Robert Englund's constant hello as his English, maybe Australian character who popped up?
No, we're talking about the legendary BBC show Hello,
yes.
that was on for 84 years, as I recall. It's still on now. There's 1,800 episodes or something of
I found out recently there was an Hello video game on the Spectrum. And I need to play that.
Oh, there was that, and then also there was that random music video from 15 years ago where all those musicians, all those random celebrities came together to do a cover of Let It Be.
Oh, yeah.
And it was people like Pamela Anderson, Russell Crowe, Billy Idol, the guy from Hello. And every single celebrity, it went on for 6 minutes, and every single celebrity brought up was just I just can't predict who's coming next. It's literally
heartwarming. It's so heartwarming.
But sadly, I don't recall there being an Andrew Dice Clay.
No. Who is actually British, right? He's the third Earl of Dice. And everybody, he just is really good at doing a New York accent. But really, with his natural, sort of northern, he's sort of a Welsh accent. He does a great sort of British Streetcar Named Desire. Stella, I say Stella. Stella,
I'd watch that.
Could you open the door, Stella?
Yes,
Stella,
Andrew
please.
Silverstein.
Andrew Silverstein.
Really, I could actually imagine though Andrew Dice Clay in playing Stanley in the Streetcar Named Desire, and it being even in character as Dice. Doing it in that way, just for a sort of bizarre retake of a Streetcar Named Desire. And you're no wonder this lady went insane,
Yeah.
Well, listeners, unless you read the the name of the episode, because to be honest, when I listen to podcasts, I usually don't. You might be thinking, why are they talking about Andrew Dice Clay? I had the same question when this was proposed to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
in the year 2025, why would anyone be talking about Andrew Dice Clay?
Well, it's because we're talking about the movie The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, which I had not seen, and I don't know if I'd even heard of.
It is an obscure one, to be fair, particularly over here.
Yeah.
We're only doing it because, and I think I've been pitching doing it since Batman Returns, because it's co-written by Dan Waters.
Mm-hmm.
Him and another fellow called John Capp and Dan Capp. I think they must be brothers. It doesn't specify. But neither
Andy Cap.
Andy Cap. That was the English contingent, was Andy Cap. But yeah, the only other one, John Cap wrote a load of random TV stuff, like Freddy's Nightmares, appropriately enough, because Robert Englund's in this. And the only other screenwriting credits to the other guy, who's not Dan Waters, who co-wrote the script, is The Last Action Hero. Which is a great movie.
Me and you are big defenders of that, aren't we?
But it's a movie that people really rip to shreds, and it has a horrible reputation, just like The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. Yeah. But we're gonna have to go into why, because it's lost time now. So
yeah, well, let's do a Last Action Hero podcast sometime. But gentlemen, I do want to point out, and this is where part of my mission today, the missing fourth screenwriter.
Ooh.
Whose name is not in. He's listed as the creator of the character.
Oh,
but Rex Weiner.
Yes, yeah.
Rex Weiner did the first draft of the script, and he was there as a consultant. So yeah, I generally, my general rule is the more guys you see who are credited as the screenwriter, the worse the movie's going to be.
It's usually a bad sign, isn't
well,
it?
particularly too, because Dan Waters, this whole thing is like I give him a lot of guff, quite frankly, because I've read his version of Batman Returns, and the revisions made by Wesley Schreck saved the film. Basically.
Much better, yeah.
But he did write Heathers, which is like it's unsurpassed in terms of
that is true literature.
Yeah, in terms of like crazy, surrealist 80s teen comedies go. So Heathers is pretty much the top. That then Better Off Dead are your top tier, basically. But the thing is about this, though, so Dan Waters is our loose connection. How much he wrote. It does, to be fair, though, a lot of this did remind me of bits from his version of Batman Returns.
Okay, that's wild, Niall.
Yeah. The thing is, so...
Yeah, I want to hear about that.
Yeah.
But we brought in people who are, one, American, because Andrew Dice Clay, the guy who, like, this movie kind of lives and dies upon, is just not a cultural figure over here. I only knew of him from, like, maybe 20 years ago. Channel 4 over here did like a countdown of like 100 greatest comedians of all time, and Andrew Dice Clay was in there, and I remember them showing the footage, and everyone's going, "Oh, this stuff was awful. This was just like, how is this ever popular?" His whole act is that he's just a rampant, horrific misogynist. That's the joke, and yet he also did sell out Madison Square Garden 2 nights in a row at the height of his popularity. Which you folks were, I'm assuming, there for. You were stuck in the middle of
every
we were
night.
not at Madison Square
You had
Garden.
tickets front row.
A little embarrassing to admit now, but I saw him many times. I was a camp follower, and I was like all the other guys in the audience. I would, he would say something horrible, and I would say, "That's so true. That's so true."
He's saying it how it is.
Yeah. And so I mean, I can give you my own personal, I remember Dice Mania, all 2 months of it, and the reaction and the pushback, and I feel like in some ways, we have a president here you may have heard of.
Oh, really?
Who I think there's probably other guys, but I think it's a good place to start with Andrew Dice Clay saying outrageous things, and then like his fans and his followers saying, "Yeah, but he doesn't mean it. He's just joking around." When he calls women and whores and they're only good for and things like of that nature. That's just it's just good-natured joshing. But his comedy. I had the great fortune to be in San Francisco, a comedy mecca.
Yeah.
At the time. Not now.
Oh.
And he just
Very
so we were,
unfunny.
me and my friends were curious, and we caught him on, I don't know, TV shows or something. I definitely remember when he was on Saturday Night Live, and he just wasn't as funny. And we kind of got like, okay, you're trying to be outrageous and pushing buttons and controversial, but we already have Bobcat Goldthwait. We have Sam Kinison, and several others that I'm escaping me. But these were guys. Andy Kaufman.
Oh yes, legend.
There was already a whole platoon of comics who were pushing the envelope and pushing the walls, and all this guy was kind of doing was just, it's kind of just very loud bathroom humor.
Yeah.
So we weren't too impressed with him.
Understandable.
And and it's kind of like in the movie. He would say something funny every 5-10 minutes. And so, yeah, I remember The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, and I was kind of curious because the title reminded me of The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai.
Of course. Yeah.
But I found out neither Ford Fairlane does not exist in Buckaroo Banzai's universe.
What? I thought it was all a single continuity.
I wish I was kind of, but so yeah. I remember when the movie came out. I remember when the movie went away.
Yeah.
This was my first time watching it. And I will say this, and then I'll turn it over to you guys. I won't say anything for the next hour. But I was pleasantly surprised. I did not hate it as much as I thought.
Because you know what I think it is? Because I checked out his stand-up afterwards, and obviously it was exactly what I heard, unfortunately. I think because he's in a movie, it's like it's his act, but it's reined in a little bit. And pulling it back that step kind of makes it work. Whereas when he just is allowed to do what he wants, it's like no, that doesn't work now. You need someone going, hey, Andrew. Let's give this context.
I mean, like Audra, like what? So Brett said his piece, but are you sitting there now, like red face, going like, "Oh, I was there in Madison Square Garden, throwing my underwear at Clay." You're getting really, really into this guy.
No, but top this. I went and saw this movie when it came out in the theater with my mother.
Wow. With your mother?
Oh man.
Yeah, because
was she a big Clay fan?
No, but we all loved Gilbert Godfrey.
Oh, he's my least favorite part of the movie, though.
Oh shit! No way.
Yeah, but I love him in general.
Okay, yeah, the Aristocrats. It doesn't get any better. But Andrew Dice Clay for a while there he was just everywhere. People were talking about him all the time, and comedy specials. And I think my dad, who is a fan of comedy. He was like, do you believe this guy? And so we went and saw the movie, and I was embarrassed for all the times he said banging chicks, and I fucked him or I fucked her, and I was embarrassed, but there were funny parts, and that's kind of my memory of Andrew Dice Clay. And as I got older, that memory of that movie just got worse and worse because it was like, he's so outdated.
Oh God,
because there's pushing the envelope with language, which I understand. I mean, we have a whole history of comics that have done that and broken barriers, and Lenny Bruce going to jail for obscenities and things like that. And then so he's riding those coattails, but he just makes it so crude.
Yeah. That's because Lenny Bruce he's fighting back against restrictions against like general language, whereas it's like Andrew Dice Clay is just like, why shouldn't I be able to just talk about how chicks are all whores and all this kind of stuff? It's very like, you're just punching down, man. You're not setting us all free. Like you're just setting the clock back, basically.
I get the vibe, and I don't know for sure, because obviously I'm new to him. I get the vibe he started out that it was like a bit.
Yeah.
And then maybe went too far. A bit like we've got a comedian over here who's the worst comedian ever, Roy Chubby Brown.
Yes.
And he only appeals to like racist old dads and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
He's banned from a lot of places because, he says all this, but no, he's saying it how it is. He's saying what's on your mind. No, that's not on my mind. He just comes out with offensive crap. And he kind of reminded me of that because I think he started out as an act as well. But then it got so popular, it kind of consumed him.
The same thing happened with the comedian Al Murray. They created a character called the Pub Landlord, who was a piss take of like just loudish, brass, loudmouth English pub landlords who are also misogynist and racist and
because he gets people like a beer, doesn't he, in the crowd, and as soon as he sees a woman he's like, white wine for the lady, because ladies don't allow beer.
And yet though, and he's always like, no, he's like a left-leaning liberal comedian, but he's like, no, the pub landlord, people think that is you, and that is now your entire career, like you're not going to ever escape that. And so I did a little research into one, Andrew Dice Clay or Andrew Silverstein. as his originally. And
that blew my mind as well when I found that out. I was like, no, but Andrew Dice Clay is such a bad name anyway. It's like, well, that's got to be real. You wouldn't make
really
that
annoy
up.
me too, because he's trying everything about him's trying so hard to be like cool. And the fact that
but he's doing Fonzie, you know, and so it's a retro. I think the act started with a certain amount of irony and kind of a retro sensibility, and then it consumed him, like you're saying, and that was all there was. And I think when you play a character like that, you know, you got to be a little responsible, because guys are going to be like, that, you know, that guy's a and you know she's a slut, and you know, like people that.
Another character who kind of went the same way, which is appropriate because the actor who plays him is in the film, is like Al Bundy. Because Al Bundy is a horrible man who was horrible to his wife and his kids, etc., etc., etc. But Al Bundy is always the butt of the joke.
Yeah, you're meant to be going, oh, isn't he such a dick? You're meant to be laughing at him.
Yeah, he's supposed to be pathetic. He's like, oh, he's this lowly shoe salesman, etc., etc. Even though nowadays it's like he has a house and a car, and it's like,
and
I hate my
wife ever.
His whole thing is like, I hate the fact that I might have to go and have sex with my super hot wife. Like, it's like, what the hell's your problem, man? But Andrew, like. Within I think this apparently didn't do well box office wise because there was a tsunami of controversy about Andrew Dice Clay and his stand up, mostly because people were misinterpreting it as just been like, oh, he's just saying these things because he actually means them. Two, this is going to be like, you know, impressionable youth are going to see this and want to become him, which is in this movie as well, where
he does address these things.
And. So I noted in the Wikipedia, it's like it cost $20 million to make. It made $21 million.
Oh well, it's a profit. How did this cost $20 million?
Maybe and the one thing too, so I was looking into him and I found out his name's actually Andrew Silverstein. I was like, oh, thank God, because I hate the fact that everyone calls him Dice.
Yeah, the Dice Man.
The Dice Man.
That's not cool. Yeah. That's not cool.
Like hearing like Mark Maron, like a comedian I respected him, going like, oh yeah, Dice. Oh, Dice is really cool. And you're like, stop calling him Dice. Like he's actually like a cool guy. And everything about him trying so hard to be. But then looking into his origins by his own admission, and I'm stunned that he didn't like get sued or people aren't going on about more of him being like a hack. Basically, is because he said like, oh, I started off didn't know anything about comedy, but my whole shtick was people used to tell me I looked like John Travolta. Oh, okay. And I like Jerry Lewis, so I came out and I just did the Nutty Professor, and he does the impression. He does an immaculate Jerry Lewis impersonation. He comes out and he's like, "Oh, really nerdy character," and then the light would go off, and he'd drink a potion and he'd transform into Andrew Dice Clay, and it was just the whole joke was like he went from nerdy guy into like stud, but like a really horrible.
That's.
Which is crazy because like
that's right, Buddy Love,
exactly. But he's just come out and saying that like my shtick is stolen from Jerry Lewis, and then he would also say like, so I went and just bought joke books so I could say stuff, and you're like, so you didn't even write the jokes either. Like,
well, maybe that's just how he started out though, you know. Yeah. Although one more piece of evidence I thought for that it started as an act, because I saw an interview with him, quite a recent one. I've got it up here that he. Let me find the actual line. It's decided to jump. For God's sake, I had it all queued up. Here we go. So he's being asked here about the fact he uses. You know what? We're just gonna have to swear. Let's say it, listeners. We're gonna have to swear. We're talking about this movie. This one. There's no. He's being asked about why he says the word fag, and okay, his explanation is a load of shit. But he then comes on. No, he comes on then to say when Romney was saying that when he's president there will be no gay marriages. I'm thinking, is this guy just a fucking idiot? The way it is today with this recession, people can't afford to keep their homes anymore. Everybody's losing everything, and this guy's worried about who's going to marry who. Whether you're gay, straight, you can't tell anybody who to love and who to marry. It's unconstitutional and morally wrong. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Where did he say this?
I have an interview here on slate.com.
Oh, yeah. I mean, couldn't agree more.
But that is in the same paragraph where he says, oh, I say fag because it's funnier than saying gay. It's like,
well. I thought I heard him in an interview saying like, oh, but loads of my he does the classic like, loads of my friends are gay, but he's like, the gay community loves Andrew. Like he's like, no, I've got tons of gay fans. They all love me. Does he? But in many ways too, he is kind of weirdly like a bizarre, incredibly hetero form of drag in a way. If you accept
it's basically, he's a drag king.
Yeah.
He's a drag king.
It's
Wow.
performative.
Mhm.
It's like the male ego exploded.
You could do like
Yeah.
a non-binary drag queen called like Andrew Splice Clay or
Yeah.
something, and
Oh
then
my
just,
God.
like, and really
Yeah.
and bring back the whole thing, but like do it right, quote unquote, this time.
Oh my,
maybe?
if any drag kings are listening, do a DICEMAN act, please.
Yeah.
Please.
But the thing is, though, if he is intelligent, and like the thing is, the interviews I watched with him, he does come. He's like, oh, he seems like, no, it is all an act, and I'm just joking and stuff, etc., etc. But then he'll eventually go like, but Dice Man is basically kind of a version of me. And then by the end of the
Yeah.
interview, he'll be going about like, some guy pissed me off, and I want to hold him over a table and fuck him up the ass and draw boobs on his back. And so you're like, oh, okay, so you kind of just are this guy, basically.
Yeah.
So he
Wow.
is gay.
Well, that's
Yeah.
one thing. That's one thing that surprised me in this movie, in a good way, is that
Yeah.
he's not afraid to like make himself look like a negative to the people who might be his fans. He constantly is talking about. He says how he had sex with Clint Eastwood as a joke,
yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, what?
It feels like it's like a form of domination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did him.
It's like
Yeah.
a prison mentality. Of like, I came into the world and I hit Clint Eastwood over the head with like a sock with snooker balls in it, and I fucked him to prove that I was the big shot. You know, that kind
I
of.
fucked him. Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's got his moments. You know?
Yeah. He has his moments in the movie.
I mean, my favorite moment of his entire thing in the whole movie, because we'll try to go through it bit by bit, but like we can
Yeah.
jump off all over the place. But I loved at the end when they're all falling off the building, and like, was it Lauren Holly's screaming, Robert Englund screaming, and it cuts to
I know
him
this.
just go. It just cuts to Dice going like, my hair.
yeah, that was a good. Yeah.
That's very Fonzie
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. That, like I said, I think there's not enough jokes, but I sort of had a, one good joke for every 5 to 10 minutes ratio.
A scattershot joke. man.
Scattershot.
If you just shoot them out, like there's got to be a certain percentage that are going to go over, right?
Yeah, like, and it's not always just crude stuff he's saying. Obviously, I've got millions of quotes I've written down, but there's other stuff as well. Like, just even subtle things. Like, he got paid for his work when he was working for Milli Vanilli with bike shorts and hair extensions. It's like, what? That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. But
that stuff like that, though, I'm like, oh, that's Dan Waters. That's Heather's Dan Waters putting in little details like that, you know. But the thing is, but if he the Andrew Silverstein, the performer, is intelligent enough to know that, like, oh well, the things he's saying about Romney, etc., does he not see the issue though of like, I'm perpetuating this character? And people, again, and children are watching this.
Yeah.
And they're thinking he's a cool guy. Because my main problem with Ford Fairlane, which is like, I'll be up for like having this Johnny Bravo-esque, like, ultra masculine.
it is like adult Johnny Bravo, yeah.
Yeah. But if he was much more of a doofus, because it is kind of perpetuating that he is cool. And like, at the end, he is the hero, and he does like, he wins the day. Not through like, again, like, even like Austin Powers or something like that. It's like, oh yeah, it's Austin Powers, like sex crazed maniac, etc. But they know to like have it be like, but he's out of time, and a lot of the stuff he's doing is like wildly outdated, and he just doesn't realize. And also they take Strange and Austin Powers to be like, it's all consensual, etc.
Oh yeah, because there's that bit where what's her name? What's the woman's
Liz Hurley, yeah.
Liz, whatever Liz Hurley's character's called. She's coming on to him, and he won't sleep with her because she's drunk and he's not. And he's like, no, that's not right. That's not right. Yeah.
Yeah. But whereas, Dice Man or Ford Fairlane in this,
he wouldn't.
Who is essentially, they're essentially the same character.
Yeah.
I don't feel he would bat an eye at someone of a drunk, a drunk sorority girl who come up to him who might be like 20 years younger than him. He'd just be like, oh, like, my ship's coming tonight.
Niall, I mean, it's booty time across the USA. So,
man, that was another beyond the my hair bit. The fact that we got to see Al Bundy and Morris Day singing and dancing to a song called Booty Time was like, that was worth the 20 million to make the movie alone. I feel.
I mean, it's got a great cast. I'm sorry you don't like Gilbert Gottfried in this, but there's Gilbert Gottfried.
That's the thing. I was happy to see him. I just thought his character is maybe what Andrew Dice Clay is in his stand-up. It was like super obscene. It was like, wow.
It's crazy too, because if you look up and if you try to look up stand-up of Andrew Dice Clay, you get clips of Gilbert Gottfried taking the piss out of him.
Oh.
And I don't know if they're dated before or after the film, but it's him going like, "Oh, here's Andrew Dice Clay," and it's just him spasming his arm out, holding the cigarette, and then going like, "Little Miss Muffet sat on a coffin a minute," and then just doing that over and over.
Yeah.
You know what, though? I get the impression, I could be wrong, I get the impression Andrew Dice Clay, he isn't afraid. I know you said he looks cool in this, but I think he's not afraid to look a bit stupid. I think he would hire someone who doesn't like him to be in the movie because he'll think that's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's at his best when he's like self-conscious and breaks the fourth wall.
Yes.
In this movie. And there's like, a couple of parts that are, he just turns to the camera and says, "What, you think this is a movie or something?"
Oh, yeah.
and the koala thing. And, there's all these
Man.
where he's breaking the fourth wall and he's calling attention to the format of actually being in a movie. And, I think those are his shining moments.
It's weird too, because one of our most recent hiatus episodes was Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Brilliant. Which comes out 20 years later. And that's it's almost like a weirdly it's like a better version of
It's funny. Before the show, we were just talking about, we said the same thing.
Oh.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is, and it was, what year was Kiss Kiss Bang Bang? Was it, I think it's late 90s or early
2005?
2000s?
Yeah, mid 2000s.
15 years, but yeah, the similarities and we could make. I think there are a lot of things that are similar about the movies, but yeah, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang works for
That's one of my favorite movies. So yeah, I can't argue with that.
But I think they lean it because you get little snippets of him breaking the fourth wall, whereas Kiss Kiss Bang Bang's constantly playing with the narration.
I think also, I think here's one key thing. So I recall, I'm not. Can we listen to the Kiss Kiss Bang Bang minute? But I'd say as I recall, it's directed by Shane Black.
Yes.
So therefore, it's probably written by Shane Black, and there might be someone who helped Shane Black write it, but we can assume it's the old story. It's like one guy said, "This is the movie I want to make, and these are the characters." Yeah. And Andrew Dice Clay aside, Ford Fairlane is there are so many hands in the metaphoric fish pot, the stew pot, whatever you want to call it. It's, let's make a movie with this guy, something to remember. Again, Rex Weiner wrote the first draft of this almost 10 years before the movie's made. Andrew Dice Clay isn't around, it's like this thing gets in development and it's studios are sold to Coca-Cola and then Sony, and then somebody finds this, Joel Silver, says, "Oh yeah, it would be perfect for this."
And I think also might be the problem. What might be the problem is that so even looking into Rex Weiner's original comic strip version of Ford Fairlane, he looks like he's just a noir detective, hat, trench coat, all that kind of stuff. And so then eventually throughout the 80s, comic book movies come back more into the fray due to a little movie called Batman, back in the late 80s. And then of course you have after that Dick Tracy, which of course Warren Beatty's big swing. So then Joel Silver, of Die Hard fame and Predator and all the big stonking action movies, The Last Boy Scout, which is also quite similar to this, I found in many ways.
It is.
He might have just been fishing around going "Oh yeah, we got the rights to some comic thing. Show Ford Fairlane. Yeah, I remember that." And then somehow he's like, "Get that guy who wrote that movie that was really hot, a couple of years back. Yeah, get him to do that." and then Dan was like, "Oh, we don't like this. Go it." And then I would hesitate to say that if the Dice Man was writing his own material on stage as well, he was probably coming in. So he had three screenwriters, and then probably him. Punching up the script.
Sure.
I get the vibe. Half of the stuff he says is just ad-libbed by him.
Yeah.
It's stuff from his act.
And did any of you, I believe it was Dan Waters. So I read a little thing, Remy Harlan said, "Oh yeah, I loved working with Andrew. He was great." I read a little thing, Rex Weiner actually hung out with Dice in their trailer and they talked about New York and, "Oh, this is great." And they came up with some gags. Dan Waters has nothing nice to say. And I imagine it's just, "What are you doing to my script?" "Oh yeah, let me do this routine in it. Let me do that routine." He's probably just ripping out pages of dialogue. Let me do this routine, because one thing that annoyed me about this movie is, I love my hard-boiled detectives, and the 80s are sort of a rediscovery by a new generation of Sam Spade and Philip Marlowe, and the first person narrative and the variations of that. Rick Decker in Blade Runner,
of course.
And here's a guy who's going to do that, and he's in LA, one of the great noir cities, but instead of doing like your classic, down the street a man must go, it was a Friday, all those bits, he's doing more of his monologue. And to me, it's weird. It's a bit of a distraction. I mean, it's like, you are going to see the dame who might have the clue in the lead, right?
Yeah, that's weird. It's weird because I agree with you. Like, it's almost like they couldn't pick what they wanted. But at the same time, the stuff he adds, I actually think it's funny, it's absurd, and it's obscene. But within the first 5 minutes, he comes out with something that just floored me. Where it's like, you've got to shave your legs before you leave the house in a dress like that. And you've got to shave before you leave the house in a dress like that. And I don't mean your legs.
That's right.
Clay doesn't say that. That's one Morris Day comes up.
Oh, Morris Day says that.
So there you go.
I mean, the movie in general, then, and but that's not a Morris Day line.
Yeah,
I think that's a him line.
We also have to get into the fact that this is our triumphant return of Morris Day to the Batman podcast.
When did we last talk about him? I'm going to say 5 to 6 years ago.
Oh yeah, definitely, because we of course went through in hiatus movie form the Prince movies, where Morris Day popped up in at least 2 of them.
Yeah.
Tragically, though, I don't think Jerome is in this.
No.
I was my eyes were scanning the background. It's like, there's Morris, but where's Jerome? He can't be. Who's going to hold the mirror for him? This Morris Day standing alone cannot stand. What the hell's going on? But
I think I might have said to you, Niall, as well. Like literally about 5 minutes after this line, he floored me again. I couldn't believe he made a premature ejaculation joke to a kid. Because the kid says to him, I've got something serious to discuss. And he goes, what is it? Premature ejaculation? I was like, what the fuck is this film?
I'm sure also in the 90s, the Helen Lovejoy of the world were going, I can't believe he said a premature ejaculation joke to a kid. This is horrifically inappropriate.
Normally I would find that awful, but for some reason it worked in this movie. I don't know. Maybe because Maybe I'm viewing it through a lens that I'm not supposed to, because I'm laughing at him for saying that. I'm like, you can't say that, you idiot.
Yeah.
But
and you believe this guy.
Yeah. It's so ridiculous that he would say that. That's the shock, right? And then you laugh at the shock.
Yeah.
And I think that's as intended.
It's crazy. That's why I actually, dare I say, I think this movie is camp.
It is. 100%.
It could have been more camp.
Yes.
You guys might have seen Remy Harlan says, well, in retrospect, I wish I'd have gone the other direction and made it more slapstick and more outrageous and, been more of a parody and just made it, maybe like, something like a Zucker Brothers kind of detective movie.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Or what if we got John Waters for Fairlane?
Oh man, that'd be incredible.
Just tangentially, I think that there's a whole sort of subgenre of film at this time in the 80s or early 90s where it's like a subcultural detective. It's and they're always in LA, because if you think about Blood and Concrete, a love story, have you guys seen that one? And we just watched one called Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers.
What a name!
And there's always this like cool detective character throughout these movies, and there's something about that time period where suddenly there were all these movies coming out about this.
Yeah, it's
John Waters should have done one.
Yeah,
that would have. Oh, gee, that's the only way to make this better.
Yeah. Again, I mean, this is where it's sort of like on a personal level, because I went back and I read some of Weiner's stories, and I got it because he's not writing about rock stars. He's writing about rock scenes.
Yes.
He's in New York in the 70s, and he's going to CBGB's and a couple other clubs I hadn't even heard of. And then a year later, he's in LA going to all those great clubs. And he's talking about, going to see like The Germs and X.
I see that movie, with the rock and roll.
Yeah, and the
detective.
difference is he created, like, what he's really doing in these stories is he's writing about the scene and the people in the scene and how nuts they are.
That's kind of what this is about, isn't it? Yeah.
Kind of want it to be more Repo Man, and it's
Yeah.
Exactly.
Repo Man is also like a detective, like
Fits
a throwback
the genre.
to
Ford Fairlane,
detective.
played by Harry Dean Stanton, I think would have been.
Whoa, yeah.
Like another.
Yeah, but I think the difference to me is, so I'm reading Weiner stories, and I got to say it relates to me because just a few years after he writes these, I'm in San Francisco kind of experiencing that same, it was about a club called the Purple Onion and the crazy people I'd see there, and these bands. Nobody's famous. Maybe a few people are going to be famous, but everybody's just trying to get the record deal.
Yeah.
And by 1990, it's post MTV, and everybody in the movie is already a star, and they're like parodies of stars. I mean, there's Vince Neil as what's his name? Jimmy Rockhead. And he's just like,
couldn't believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's such a like, oh yeah, let's put a rock star there. Let's put a rock star here. Here's where we can put Tone Loc. Yeah.
Well, there's endless cameos in this movie.
Yeah.
And they all get like 1 minute.
Yeah.
It's like
Instead of
Sheila
say
E.
having,
showing up at his front door for a second.
Only gets a minute.
Yeah, it's like an award show with murders in it. And I mean, if I wanted to see, like, Lee Ving of Fear as a gangster, or just like a gangster who's also in a rock band, who's like, hey, Fairlane, get out of here. Oh yeah, and it's just like have Exene Cervenka. Or John, the great John Doe himself, like, hey, oh, hey, Ford, what are you looking for? Yeah, I'm looking for this, this and that. So I could kind of relate to what Rex Weiner was doing, like, just sort of, well, instead of just writing about this show last night, I'll create a character who's there, and it's very Gonzo, very Hunter Thompson. And, like, again, there's kind of this, everybody's going back to, Chandler in screenwriting school and in film school. It's like, oh, yeah. And Mickey Spillane is involved, and it's like, oh, yeah, let's have before there were punk rockers, there were hard-boiled detectives who smoke and drank and wear cool old hats. And, let's do that. There was this, like we said, with movies like, Blood and Concrete, there was something in the water.
There was a retro thing happening.
And I think, again, by the time you get to Ford Fairlane, it's just it's like a TV special.
Yeah, this could have been a TV episode.
Yeah, this could have been the Ford Fairlane Christmas special, where it's like, oh, hey, look, it's Tone Loc. What are you doing here?
Hey, don't tempt me to request from the world that we get a Ford Fairlane remake TV show.
The thing is, though, because of its, I don't know, because, obviously the whole thing with Warren Beatty with Dick Tracy now is what he's clinging on to the rights to that character, so much so that he showed up in costume.
Yeah.
That interview with Leonard, I call him the Leonard Maltin.
Leonard Maltin.
Yeah, and he showed, and everyone was just like, because Warren Beatty's like 90, and he's just like, yeah, I'm here to. He just did it to like, oh no, I need to make a Dick Tracy thing so I can retain the rights. And it's like, dude, no one wants Dick Tracy too. But I can imagine too if they try to revamp Ford Fairlane, Andrew Dice Clay would be like, oh, you can't do that without me. What the hell you think you do?
Well, they should have, he's in his late 60s. Let's bring him out.
Oh God, have you seen what he looks like now? Though it's embarrassing.
Yeah. He has aged hard.
He reminds me. It embarrasses me as much as when you see Steven Seagal. It's got a Steven Seagal vibe.
But that could work for it, though, if he comes out still wearing all the same gear. And it's
true. But that could be funny, right?
Yeah, the gut's drooping, and he's just acting as he's still slicking up what little hair he has left and stuff. But he's just really like, hey, everyone's and then Ford Fairlane, like the world catching up with him and stuff, and then like,
that might actually be better, because then it would be an Austin Powers kind of thing, right?
Yeah. I have to ask as well, though, Brett, because obviously you did your own show about Buckaroo Banzai way back.
Yes, sir.
But it did remind me in the fact that, like, of course, Buckaroo Banzai insane cast for that movie.
Yeah.
But also he is like, in that he's like a scientist superhero / rock star. And in this, they seem to really want to like, oh, he's a rock and roll detective.
Yeah, yeah. And Ford Fairlane is kind of, I would say he's sort of like a superhero at times. This movie's so uneven because half the time, I mean, I think of that scene where he's in the studio and he shows the naive young pop star, this is how you sing a song. And what did he do? Like Sea Cruise? And he's like, 1, 2, 3.
And it's not even that great. But
yeah.
No. But you get the sense it's like, wow, he sings, he dances, he shoots people, he's amazing. Yeah. But then, you know, but
that's not the same level of like within the same year, you'd have Wild at Heart with Nick Cage pulling a similar move, but in that movie, it's so dementally weird that you're just like, wow, what the hell was that? Whereas in this, it's just like, oh, this feels like a vanity project in the worst way.
Yeah, right? Yeah, vanity.
Although he comes out with another classic line to that guy. It's when he's singing, and you know it's bad, and he goes, "I've heard cats fuck with more harmony than this kid."
Yeah, there are good lines in it, and there are good moments, and you know, if you can imagine this movie, I don't know, we could edit out Andrew Dice Clay. You know, it is a pretty good, you know, by the book 80s because it's made in 89, comes out in 90. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a paint by numbers, you know, big time action flick.
The plot doesn't make any sense,
of course
though.
not.
You got the villain's bootlegging his own company's music.
Right, I'm glad you brought that up because I worried, I was very concerned that I had missed something because I was about 4 beers deep. So I was like, have I missed something with the story here? So thank you. I didn't then.
No, I think a lot of noir stories, though. You know, I think we mentioned in the Kiss Kiss Bang Bang episode, like even Raymond Chandler, when like challenged about like some of the what happened to this character, et cetera, in interviews, has been just like, oh, I don't know. Like it's just the whole labyrinthine plot line is kind of part of like you just have to kind of just go with it. So there was like at the end of this, I was just like, Wayne Newton's the bad guy? Okay. That's all I need to know. Like,
that works.
Okay, so Roger Ebert reviewed this movie when it came out, okay? And he says, this is a movie about a hero I didn't like, chasing villains I didn't hate, and a plot I didn't understand.
Pretty much.
And that's all positive parts
to me. That would be something I would genuinely say, put that on the poster. Like to see what happens. But of course, one person we should like give a couple of flowers to, that we've not, you've mentioned him a couple of times there, Brett. But of course, this is directed by Rennie Harlan.
Yes,
of guy used to be like a freaking like a workhorse back in the 90s.
Constant work,
making things left, right, and center. And now it's like he's making some kind of like a horror trilogy. Oh, he's doing like The Strangers.
Oh, okay.
The Strangers was like the kind of creepy horror movie with Liv Tyler way back.
I remember the poster at the bus stop.
Yeah, and its most notable thing in it is that it prominently features a Joanna Newsom song as like a set piece, like them walking around the house, and it's playing The Sprout and the Bean. But like, Rennie Harlan is now back to like, I'm making a Strangers trilogy. And everyone's like, well, the first of them bombed, so no one wants this. And he's like, oh, I'm doing it anyway. Whereas, he way back in the day, he made a great schlocky horror that you can get on, as me and a friend of mine affectionately refer to as the YouTube urinal. Our take on the, we have a thing called, like, you always see the celebrities going into the Criterion closet.
Yeah.
And then we noticed the amount of films that she in particular would go like, oh, I really want to watch this. And it's like, it's on YouTube for free. And eventually our flip of the Criterion closet is the YouTube urinal. And we wanted to do a thing of like, it would be like, Radu from Subspecies going in and being like,
which is how we watched this movie. We couldn't find it. I think it was, it was like, how much was it on Amazon? And it was still it was like, it could have been 10 cents and it would have been too much, but we found it on YouTube for free. And I think it was Arrow Video had put it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, really nice print.
They just put it up. It was like 4 days after that. that they
Yeah.
uploaded.
Oh wow,
it,
great!
that we
Because
found
I went out of my way to like get it through other means.
I got a nice 1080p copy.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was just sitting on YouTube. But
No, within 5 minutes of me posting, I was watching it. I had someone go in my DMs saying, "Can you get me that movie? It's not streaming anywhere. Can you get me?"
oh yeah.
Look on YouTube, folks. Look on YouTube.
Yeah, but it's
yeah, Remy Harlan. You guys have probably read this, that he's making this movie, and I guess it's Joel Silver sees how he's working with what he's got, and he immediately gets Die Hard 2. And like I think within days, I think it's one of those deals where we're wrapping this on Friday, and then on Monday I'm starting Die Hard 2. Kind of a big step up.
Drastically.
Of course,
so, yeah.
Remy fought hard to replace Bruce Willis with Andrew Dice Clay. Did not work.
You know what?
out.
I want to see Andrew Dice Clay's interpretation of a Die Hard kind of movie. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get him in an action film now.
Again, not to go on too much of a tangent though, but now that it's it's somewhat relevant, because of course the villain in Die Hard 2 is the great actor William Sadler, who of course played Death in Bill and Ted's Burgers Johnny, etc.
Oh yeah, I always forget that's the same guy. Yeah. Wow.
And I was just literally like, was it this morning or yesterday? Was reading about people saying like actors who have gone through things on stage where you just have to like tear on with things, and someone was saying, I remember reading an interview with William Sadler, where he was talking about the fact he was on stage one time and literally was going through diarrhea and literally shat himself on stage. But he just continued going as if nothing happened. And he's just like, just like, no one suspected anything. The other actors on stage were like they clearly knew that something had happened because they could smell it. But the audience were just like applauding at the end, and he's like, "Ooh, got away with that one." Now that will forever be in my head when I think of Death from Bill and Ted's Book.
Jesus,
just shatting.
I'm taking the wheel. I'm taking over the bus. This is a story I heard many years ago Diana Rigg tell, and now I'm going to become like the theater nerd. So I heard this at a party with Diana Rigg.
That's name dropping there.
Yeah, she's doing one of the Shakespeares with one of the Shakespeares. It was Shakespeare 4, The Revenge, and she's maybe it's Macbeth. Anyway, she's doing it with the great Paul Scofield. And there's a scene. Yeah, this is years and years ago, but there's a scene where he has to deliver a soliloquy while carrying dead Diana Rigg on stage. So she tells the story about Paul. At some point in intermission, he would drink this, protein drink of raw eggs and wheat germ. Yeah. And, it's a whole, like, I'm carrying my dead daughter and it shakes. Oops, I just bumped the microphone. So, and she's supposed to lie there. I'm dead, and he's delivering a Shakespeare soliloquy. But the power drink that's giving him this extra boost is giving him bad gas. So Diana Rigg's like, I'm supposed to be dead and in his arms, but I'm like...
He's like crop dusting the stage.
Yeah, she's crop dusting the stage. And I think she said, she could see like the, extras as, guards in the castle. They're like... as he's walking by, my daughter is dead. So, but yeah, your story reminded me of that story. And
amazing.
It's just one of those, those classic theater nerd stories.
Yeah.
About crop dusting and satisfying yourself.
William Sadler pooping himself. And
now we need to know if Andrew Dice Clay ever shat himself.
Oh, every time.
I'm sure he did and does.
Again, though, he probably think of it as some form of dominance.
Yeah.
Like,
I shit myself. Oh.
Walk into one room, you shit yourself, and everyone looks at you and they know you're in charge. Oh. Also, I love too, though, going through like beyond all of the other stuff, because again, incredible cast list to this. But then also it's like music by Yellow.
Oh, and all the music's great.
Yeah, but it's also like let's get in like The Knife to do the music for like an American Pie movie. Like, this is why is moody Swedish electronica band Yellow doing the soundtrack to Ford Fairlane?
Why does anything happen in that movie?
Yeah, good question.
I hate to tell you this, but it's gaining popularity. It's coming back, this movie. I think, especially like, for the, millennials and younger, it's kind of like, what is this? It's like a foreign planet. You know, they're watching this and they can't imagine that this ever happened.
No, but see,
and
that's
it's
okay,
funny.
because that's how I was viewing it. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like you can't believe what you're seeing, but in like a kind of fun way. Whereas I worry people might watch it and be like, I want to be like that guy.
Well, again, though, like looking at who's the current American president is like, well, I'm sure he looks at Ford Fairlane, and like I look at Ford Fairlane and I say, cool jacket, everything else no. And
right.
And I think Trump would look at Ford Fairlane and be like, this guy, great guy, really want to get into the Ford Fairlane business. So,
well, they've apparently they used to be acquaintances, and they've fallen out.
He was acquaintances with Ford Fairlane.
No, well,
no.
Trump and the DICEMAN, but they're not friends anymore. They're not friends.
He
at
was
all.
on that. He was on this show, and he called him Donnie Trump. You know, was it? What was the show? You're Fired. That.
Oh, like the kind of like
Trump
the post Apprentice episodes.
Oh, that,
like
The Apprentice. Yeah. He that's I think where the falling out happened, and I don't know if they were friends, but DICEMAN was on the show.
Wow.
And some shit happened, and then he was fired.
See, on our version of The Apprentice, the host, he's a very successful businessman, but he's not like a character, is he?
Yeah.
No, he says the line, you know, you're fired, blah, blah, but he's not like, I don't know, you don't love him or hate him, he's just there.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just a character.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, so Andrew Dice Clay, when it was time for him to get fired, he says, I quit.
Yeah, oh, that's a baller move. That's great.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, no,
You can't fire me, I quit.
No, I really respect that
Exactly.
now. Now I'm like, that's made me much more of an Andrew Dice Clay fan.
Oh, you think you're going to fire me, you piece of shit?
I gotta say, I mean, you see his later acting roles, and it's hard to not like him in some way. You know, like when he was in Blue Jasmine. Did you guys see that movie?
He has worked with like some like like last season on Batman, and of course we had when the Henry Rollins kept popping up in things. We were always like, what the hell is Henry Rollins doing here? Like, and you find out like Henry Rollins is much more of like an actor than he is like the guy from Black Flag these days.
Well,
but
that's a meme,
also,
isn't it? On that Hard Times, where it's like random 90s movie you're watching has cameo by Henry Rollins.
Yeah.
That's so true.
But Andrew Dice Clay is also one of those guys. If you do like, he's in Pretty in Pink. Like he's in tons of stuff.
Wait, hang on! I've seen Pretty in Pink 1,000 times. He's in that.
He's like
he's the bouncer.
Oh my! See, I didn't know who he was anytime I watched. Oh my god!
He's in the Lady Gaga A Star Is Born. Like he pops up every once in a while. He's in the Pam and Tommy TV show.
This is more proof. This is more proof to me that it's got to be a bit, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be. I hope it is.
His screen debut was on a film called Wacko. Which of course is the biopic of the Warner brother from who got his own, tried to split from his other brother and his sister Dot, and
No. Wacko is we've seen it. I think at one time it was called Saturday the 14th.
Yeah. That's right.
It's a bit of an airplane. It helps you realize how hard it would be to make Airplane. Because this was a very early slasher movie parody. And one thing they did that what I thought was great was they deliberately picked actors who were in their late 20s and early 30s to play high school kids. And like nobody looks like a high school kid.
Hey, it's come back around that, and all the Netflix shows, they cast like 30-year-old models.
Yeah. Julia Duffy is and it's a fun little parody, and he kind of is doing an early version of his Dice character. He's sort of a Danny Zuko-less, I think, and because he's definitely trying to do like a Travolta-esque character, but just crashing through windows and stuff.
Yeah, but also this we touched on him there briefly, but just to nip through the career of one Rennie Harlan, because it's so up and down. Like it's like so he comes out again within the YouTube urinal you can find Prison, a movie made in the mid '80s with Lane Smith, where it's basically like they it's set in a prison. They electrocute a guy in the electric chair, but he haunts the prison and he comes back for revenge, etc., etc.
Yeah.
The strength of that, because it's just like crazy, goofy 80s horror fun, he gets Nightmare on Elm Street 4, which is like the third best Nightmare on Elm Street film, which is, I'm a big fan of those films, so that's high praise from me personally.
Yeah, you got me into them as well. Yeah, I never watched them before, did I?
Everyone knows, of course, Dream Wars is best. First one's the second one, and I would say...
well, 1 and 3 are the best, but then 2's pretty good as well, because it's like the gay one.
But no, it's interesting because it's the gay one, but it's actually like a bit of a shit film, though. That's the only thing about it.
Yeah, but you spend so much time going, this is gay as shit.
Yeah. but
Nightmare on Gay Street?
Yeah.
Gaymare on Elm Street? I don't know. Now I'm Clay.
Oh.
But yeah, and then you get the twofer of 1990 with the Adventures of Fairlane, Die Hard 2, then Cliffhanger, the great Cliffhanger, and then like the downturn of Cutthroat Island. Then up again with, as mentioned earlier, Shane Black's The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Mm-hmm.
Then Deep Blue Sea. And then remember they attempted to make an Exorcist prequel. Yeah. Paul Schrader made a whole movie. And then the studio went, no. And came in. They kept the same cast. It's like Stellan Skarsgård, etc. And then they just had Rennie Harlan come in. And then the critics were like, they're both terrible. Both you can see both versions of them. They both got released, but the critics were like, they're both really bad, but Rennie Harlan's is slightly better.
So it's the right decision, then, I suppose. Technically,
but they were his is like the brainless, it's just a horror movie, whereas Paul Schrader was really trying to go into a deep, pretentious, Catholicism kind of thing. Very pretentious Catholic.
Oh, a bit like the second Exorcist. It's not a good movie, but they're trying. They're trying so hard.
They're swinging for something, But and as I say that, and then he just goes off the boil. It's weird that the ill fates of the Elm Street directors from Wes Craven. he made it, baby. But you get Rachel Talalay will make Tank Girl and then just disappear into making episodes of Doctor Who. And then the great Chuck Russell would make The Mask after Dream Warriors. And then what's Chuck Russell done lately? He made a remake of Witchboard. And that's it.
No.
I think it's reflective of the Hollywood of the past 30 years. Especially today, the deal is made, it's just put in a director.
Yeah.
So many of the, it's not like Remy sat with the writers and worked on this. I see a vision. It's just hey, you want to do this? Yeah, I'll take this on.
Well, it's a job. It's a job.
Yeah. If you ask me who directed this in terms of visual style, I'd be like, it looks like a Tony Scott movie. Because it's got that the LA bleached sun and then that kind of smoky haze every time we're indoors and stuff like that.
The haze.
Which I think is looking at a scene that's just coated in that now.
Which I think it was, that was a staple of the early 90s, but it was Tony Scott really made that. And I think that's Rennie Harlan was probably told, make it look like a like a Tony Scott movie.
And I can't recall his name, but the DP on this was, sort of the DP on Miami Vice, and there's your DNA for so much. Movies and TV that had that look, and that was I can't remember his name, but he and Harlan went together to go make Die Hard 2.
Wow.
So that's one definitely plus with the movie. It is, like I said earlier, it sort of has that look and feel of an 80s action movie, but it's a very uneven production. And
it's got one thing though that we at Batman in particular absolutely adore, and it's deep cut Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought I was going, because I'm such a fan of the movie Josie and the Pussycats. You can hear me talk about the movie Josie and the Pussycats over on our friend of the show, Travis Bowe's podcast, and Real Comic Heroes, I think it's called.
Yeah, that's and I feel terrible. I've never watched it.
Oh, it's a great movie. Again, somewhat similar in tones sometimes to this as well. But at one point, at the beginning of the movie, he's working on a case with a band called the Pussycats. And then they mentioned that their lead singer is called Josie. And I'm like, what? You can't do that. But it's just one of those things, we're not saying it's Josie and the Pussycats.
No, you're saying that.
But ostensibly it is. And then they show up and it's Sheila E. And you're like, Sheila E. was Josie and the Pussycats.
It's a different group. Yeah, it's early appearance by Bobby Hill. I'm forgetting your name, but,
Pamela Adlon. Yeah.
She's the drummer in that version of the Pussycats before Josie and the Pussycats. But you guys might have caught this. A lot of the bands that are on, that whole weird, money laundering thing that doesn't make any sense. I think because
the Fred's condom factory thing at the end. What else was happening there?
Like, you can do this all with floppy disks. Sure you can.
Oh, that's pretty endearing, actually.
Yeah, you need 3 discs.
Yeah. 3 whole discs.
Yeah, but a lot of the bands on that list are bands from other Joel Silver produced movies. Ellen Aim and the some of the bands that are featured in Walter Hill's Streets of Fire are on that label, and that's where Jonas and Pussycats come in. So that's kind of
I was doing a hard sell on a friend from my old job, Jessie. It was like and she was one of the few people I've ever met out in the wild. Like, she's in her mid-20s, but she's one of the few people I've met out in the world who's like a big fan of Phantom of the Paradise. And then she apparently last Halloween forced all her housemates to sit and watch Phantom of the Paradise with her and stuff. And that's within my horrific office job that I had last year. Not there anymore, thankfully. But she was like a beacon to me then. I was just like, what? And then they instantly
someone I can speak to.
You're cool.
The other day I was doing a big because we went to see a production of Little Shop of Horrors together. And I was like,
nice.
And somehow Streets of Fire came like, Rick Moranis, Streets of Fire. And she's like, oh, what's this? Like, what Streets of what? And I was like, because she's a big, just music fan in general. It's like, Jim Steinman wrote the soundtrack for this fucking insane movie.
Well, she's not going to know everything now. Come on.
Well, that's what I mean. I was so excited to get to tell people about, tell anybody about Streets of Fire. Because, that's a movie that needs to come back. But, as you mentioned there, Brett, because I did, again, in talking about, deep cut, Easter eggs, I did make note of the list of bands that pops up. Because if it's not an Easter egg to another Joel Silver production, like Ellen Aim and the Attackers is from, that's the Diane Ladd, I think is the plays her in the movie.
Diane Lane.
Diane Lane, yeah. That's her band in Streets of Fire. Everyone should watch Streets of Fire. It's a great movie.
It is. Yeah.
But there's other ones are just it's just the screenwriters having fun. So you have Ellen Aim and the Attackers, Brain of the Scarecrow, great name, Alba Varden, Heather Corey, and Young. Todd, ×2. Black Plague, 5,000 Schizophrenics. Hot Tub Johnny and his feline friends.
Oh, I like that. I like that
one. Mama Waters Sings the Blues, which seems like that's a little nod to Dan Waters' mom, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
9 Sisters, Horses on Fire, The Silver Bells, Fred and Ethel, The Professor and Marianne, the Nakatomi Boys Choir, so that's obviously a diehard one.
Yeah.
Nakatomi Boys Choir.
The Dr. Bellows Funk Machine, the Red-Headed Gardener and his Flower, and then you got a string of album names as well, which are Tattoo, Your Wow, The Bio Nude, the Nazi Wench, Suck the Bunny,
what?
Honey, I Screwed the Kids.
Oh, okay, that's genius.
Bruce Poked Maud, Requiem of Paco, The Shoe Shine Boy by Wolfgang Binky.
What the hell? These are just sounds you're making. Yeah, they're sounds.
Devil's Ghost, Old Brass Antics, Objectionable Bimbo, which is one of my personal favorites. Desecrated Diane. The real Jesus. Polanski's Nursery, which is Redheads on Fire, Come to Me Baby, and then the big one is Teenage Suicide, which of course is a nod to Heathers because of the song Teenage Suicide Don't Do It being a big feature of Heathers as well.
Oh yeah. Wow.
But yeah, so as soon as that screen popped up, I was like, freeze.
Nice.
And it paid off. I was happy with 90% of those band names. I was like, yeah.
That is a wonderful Easter egg right there. That's a gift.
And how?
Is there any point, before the end of the episode, should we go through the basic of the plot or what? Is there a point?
I think what is
the most important part is the koala.
Oh right, no.
Man.
Initially, when you thought the koala was dead, I was almost going to turn it off and say to Niall, I'm not doing this.
See?
I'm an animal person. I was like, no. And then at the very end, it's like, we wouldn't kill the koala.
Imagine though, you coming to me and saying that, and me like, John must object to Andrew Dice Clay as a person and a comedian so much that they just can't bring themselves. Like, I would never lower myself to talking about this piece of crap, and then be like, no, they killed the koala, the hideous koala puppet. That's one of the worst things I've ever seen.
In a shocking turn of events, I actually loved Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah, well, that's my favorite moment with him in the movie, because again, he breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah,
and his delivery of that line. Because I would like to know if that was something in the script, or Audra and I were just talking about this. 80s movies, the superfluous motive for revenge. You can't just kill a guy's partner. You have to have his head ripped off.
Yeah.
The level of violence. It made me think of Lethal Weapon 2.
Oh,
when the South African terrorists go after Riggs.
That's a surprisingly good
officers.
film. Like, the sequel shouldn't be that good, but it's got an interesting plot about South Africans and diplomatic immunity. Yeah, Joss Ackland, but they're already bad guys, right? Mm-hmm.
Like, we gotcha, bad guys, but then they have this whole sequence where Riggs and Murtaugh's fellow officers are slowly being eliminated one by one. It's like, whoa, you don't even need to kill these people. What are you killing these people for? And, I get 48 Hours. They just seem to enjoy, there's a certain sadism to the movies. So I could kind of see, as an 80s movie, killing the koala bear. I just wonder if they saw the dailies and somebody said at the studio says, no.
I guarantee that's what it was. I get the impression that they made it survive at the last second.
I agree.
What if at the end of John Wick, they said, we wouldn't kill the dog?
Oh my God. Imagine that after all these John Wicks, because they're apparently going to do another one, even though that doesn't really make sense, but okay. Yeah. Imagine if the dog somehow comes back. It's like, it was alive all along.
Exactly. It was just out in the back in the yard. Yeah.
Well, you combine that with the through line of Saw, and that, the dog was behind it all the time.
Oh, the dog is the mastermind.
Yeah. What? All right. We have to get him to do my bidding. So I will gain his confidence, and then we will fake my death. This is a talking dog, of course.
Of course.
And so the dog is, pulling all the strings in all these movies. Super smart dog. Good dog.
It's actually Snoopy.
It's Snoopy.
Yeah. Oh my God. You've blown this wide open. You've blown it wide.
Yeah.
Of course, the dog is voiced by Werner Herzog.
The soulless dead eyes.
The only way to make this movie better would be to have Werner Herzog in it.
Okay, here's a question though, because Clay says a lot of things in this movie, and I don't agree with a lot of them, and then some of them I find quite funny, but I get most of them. I do not understand his recurring insult of snapperhead.
No.
What the hell does that mean? What does it mean? Snapperhead. Like the fish?
Snapperhead. Yeah.
Or was it I thought maybe some sort of crocodile thing? I don't know.
I just thought maybe it was an American slang thing from the early 90s. I was like, maybe. Yeah,
maybe it's a retro thing. But snapperhead. It's just
an East Coast thing that just sounds very New York harbors, and there's a what do you snap ahead or something? That just sounds like on the waterfront. Stanley Kowalski, snapperhead.
What?
Oh. That's
what do we make of the character? I hope I've written her name down right. Is it Zuzu?
Oh, Zuzu Pedals.
Yeah.
Zuzu Pedals.
Because she is portrayed as a dumb, groupie bimbo, but she's actually kind of fun. I don't know.
She's amazing.
Yeah, I really like Zuzu Pedals. Yeah.
Although
it changes some of the dynamic, because actually with Zuzu being a goofball, then Ford can't really do the. He does less of the misogynist tough guy.
Yeah.
Although she's
too weird.
He does come out with a very weird line about her, though. He says, talking to Zuzu was like masturbating with a cheese grater. Slightly amusing, but mostly painful. And
amusing.
It reminded me of a show I used to watch on... It was on Bravo. It was a channel. I think you might have had that channel in America. I don't know.
Oh, is this the show Masturbating with a Cheese Grater?
That was the show.
Yeah, I remember.
No, it was one of those shows that I don't know. I can't remember the name of it. It was like a sex show, and they travel the world. They're Americans, but they're like in Amsterdam and stuff. Find out all this weird sex shit.
They used to do that on HBO back in the 90s.
And there was an episode where it was just about guys who get off with cheese graters.
No,
that's a thing.
No, there definitely will be. There'll be, there's guys who get off on everything. There's people who get off on everything.
Yeah,
hard pass.
Yeah, no.
Weirdly, the Zuzu Petals is a bizarre Easter egg. In that she's named for a thing in It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, whoa, hang on. I've seen that movie a million times. I didn't catch this.
So in the it's in the IMDb. They say, in that movie, George Bailey's daughter Zuzu brings home a flower that she got at school to show to her father and complains that some of the petals are falling off.
Oh,
and he puts them in his pocket. God. Later, when he was never born, he reaches into his pocket and Clarence, the angel, says, they're not there. And George goes, what? And
Zuzu's petals.
He says Zuzu's petals. So apparently that's where her name was. It's like, that's all well and good. But how does this movie and It's a Wonderful Life tie in any way? Like,
this is the sequel.
You'd think if you see there'd be some sort of intertextual reference. It would be like, oh, it's like a reference to an old noir, something like that.
So many cooks in the kitchen.
Right.
That's probably what it is, right? It probably made sense at some stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm imagining somebody did a draft where every character was named after a reference to an old movie. And somehow Zuzu Petal stayed in. Because, it's a little...
She is the daughter.
It's a little out of...
Oh,
that would tie in as well, too, because one of the other scripts that Dan Waters wrote was, of course, Hudson Hawk.
Yes,
where all
this
those
is
guys.
Very Hudson Hawk, actually.
It's very Hudson Hawk, yeah, and that has a whole thing with all those characters who are named after like chocolate bars and stuff. So you have like David Caruso's called Kit Kat, and so it wouldn't surprise me if that was the thing. Dan Waters was like, yeah, they're all references to like old Jimmy Stewart movies.
Yeah, I can see that.
There was a rewrite happened, and it's just like the only one that survived was Zuzu Petals. But she
reminded me actually because an odd name for a rock groupie at the time.
Yeah, but I appreciate that as a little twist though, because he goes down this big, the big, labyrinth plot of trying to find out what happened to Zuzu Petals, and then he just like literally within a group, like within a concert, just like, you seen this girl, and she's just like, "What? Are you taking the piss?" And he's like, "Holy moly, it's you!" And then it turns out, what does she have to do with anything? Nothing really.
Not much. The whole plot around her, and then like the mom, and all this stuff. It was very confusing.
Yeah.
But I kind of liked that because it did eventually sort of come together.
Zuzu Petal seems to be just there so they can get to that sorority scene, which is
although you do get the great funeral scene though as well.
Oh yeah,
with the see-through coffin.
Yeah,
that's
glass
good.
Coffin.
But then the sorority scene that is very much like, Andrew Dice Clay going, well, I want to have some
it's
hot
like,
chicks.
It's very much like, well, I don't know if you were ever in a sorority, Audra, but I'm assuming that all people in sororities do is have pillow fights in their
That's
underwear.
Exactly it.
Yeah, and do aerobics.
Yeah.
And yeah.
See, to us, that is what we believe because that's not a thing here. There's not a sorority. There's not frat. We don't have that.
Oh.
That's not a thing. So to me, and then they do. What's this? They're doing all this weird stuff that's like a cult. What's that about?
Oh yeah, because they have the whole chant of like "Ola, Ola."
What's that? That's creepy.
Okay, I have a little insight on this actually because my
Oh.
sister was in a sorority when she was in college. I was not. I would never be a joiner of that kind of thing, but my sister was, and they do little ceremonies.
Okay.
Because they're. That's just what they do. It's because it's like a sisterhood.
Yeah, but why do they make it like a creepy Latin cult?
Yeah, they kind of went too far, but I bet it's a reference to sort of like, sororities doing these like ceremonies with candles and like you are now a member, stuff like that.
Oh, so the candles that's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I suppose maybe
I'd appreciate it if it popped up later where like they needed to get in somewhere and they're like, and then like Ford noticed something on like a woman's, like she had like something on her lapel and he's like, "Hey, I'm a Delta Beta, whatever." And then he does like a secret handshake the sorority sisters taught him, and that like forwards the plot or something. But it is very much just like, we're just a lot of hot women in their underwear, and then they just have a kind of funny scene with them, initiating them into the group.
Male fantasy. It's male fantasy.
I got the sense that there was like a 5-minute setup for why they were making Ford basically an honorary member of their sorority.
That could have been fun, like getting a misogynist guy to become a woman, almost.
Yeah, there was some kind of, you should join our sorority. You're perfect.
Yeah.
Like, who, me? Okay, what the hell?
And he could be there, like helping paint their nails and stuff.
Yeah, but you see where, like in editing, because it's that where one of the bad guys is showing up, and it's like they couldn't just totally remove that. So you have this, it's kind of like it jumps a little bit. All of a sudden, there's this strange ritual. So that was my take. Like, I feel like there's a scene that they cut out that sort of sets it up.
Wow, I can't imagine what that scene would be. What would they have cut out? I mean, because there's one bit they left in that I did think was like too much. And I'm someone who thought this was a great movie. Yeah, there was one bit. It's where he's got the hearse.
Oh, I love that horse.
Oh, I thought that was a bit much. Where he's basically like getting off on the fact the corpse is on his dick.
No, that's when it kind of reached over into like, this is demented enough that I'm 100%. And at the end, it turns out that she's
was a bit like,
the end, it turns out that she's alive. So
I wondered, is she alive, or did the power of his penis bring her back to life? I thought that's what he was trying to say. Like, I'm so manly, I brought her back. Yeah, because she was dead. She's in the
love
house.
that whole sequence, because that's one of the few times too that you see like Ford Fairlane be like flawed, because he tries to do his cool like taxi driver, like gun shooting out of a sleeve thing, and it just flies into the other car, and he's like, oh shit. Like I got nothing now. And it's the whole thing. That's where, like, apparently it was originally supposed to be played by Billy Idol, that character.
Oh my god.
Who has the song Cradle of Love as the official spin-off single of Ford Fairlane by Billy Idol. And then I guess Billy Idol couldn't make it, so because Rennie Harlan made Elm Street 4, he gets in Robert, who would then be like hot property. Like, that's a big like deal to get Robert Englund.
Yeah, but I don't want to be mean, but he's absolutely awful in this.
Robert Englund, as a actor outside of Freddy Krueger, is very hit and miss. Like, he's a guy who doesn't know how to dial it down, which is all good.
What's he? Is he English? Is he Australian? I've written down Australian.
No idea.
No idea.
The problem is he's American.
He's
just doing a real hack East End. Hello, that
I think he's doing like, because Billy Idol's English, right? So
Billy Idol's the most English. He's from bloody down in. It's just outside of London, Bromley. Yeah.
So I think he's like, you wanted Billy Idol. I'll just do Billy Idol then. Like, I think that's what he's going for.
Actually, Billy Idol was in a motorcycle wreck.
Oh,
I don't know. I'd like to think maybe he crashed into Gary Busey, but that's another story. But he was physically unable to portray, what was his character's name? Smiley. Yeah, Smiley. So I'm gonna defend Robert Englund, and while I do love Billy Idol, he's kind of a British Ford Fairlane. It would have been funny to see him and Clay. It would have his whole sort of punk rock handicap.
I love the fact he's a punk though. That's cool.
Yeah, he's creepy. I give him a couple of points for being creepy. Parts.
And then the whole thing where it's like, is he the kid's dad? You're like, oh, wow, yeah.
And I would like to say too, like, if people think I'm poo-pooing Robert Englund in general, I'm a massive Elm Street fan, so I won't say a word against him. And he is genuinely good as Willie the Friendly Alien in V. It's like him, he's dialed way down in that. He's actually a very likable character.
And you are the biggest Elm Street fan I've ever met. So
So like, I don't want people to be out there thinking I'm spreading slander about our beloved Robert Englund.
But I got a Robert Englund story.
Nice.
Many years ago, up here in the Bay Area, and I see a couple of teenage girls in a parking lot race towards this guy, who kind of has a cool look, kind of a bit of a swagger. He's got his aviators and he's got his silk scarf, and they're la 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 la, they're very excited. And you kind of like, okay, hold on, okay, autographs, yeah, hold on. And he takes off his sunglasses, and it's it's Willie from V. And it was just interesting that, like, oh yeah, you're not who you portray on screen or who we think of you on screen. He was kind of, he just came off as a real confident, Hollywood character actor. It's like, oh, that's what you're really like. Okay.
That's cool. I like that. Yeah.
It was interesting. It was just like, oh yeah, I guess you're not Freddy Krueger or any of the other characters you've played. They're sort of,
well, that was always the
guys.
rumor back in the day why he stopped doing Freddy, wasn't it? It's like, because he got too into the part and he felt like he was becoming Freddy. That's clearly just a spin.
By the time he's like too into the part, this is like Freddy's killing people with like the power glove. It's just like, I think he's pretty harmust by that point, really.
When he's rapping and things
I
say that he was rapping by like the 4th or 5th movie, wasn't he?
Yeah. By the time Rennie Harlan comes in.
90s? Was that movie from the 90s? Because that was a thing. Like every movie had to have a rap in it.
I think it might have been. Was it 90s?
Yeah, I think it might have been like the tail end of like Freddy's Dead. That's when they're bringing in the rap element. So I think the fourth
Freddy
one
versus Leprechaun.
Rennie Harlan
Leprechaun.
His Elm Street 4 does have the great spin-off single of Nightmare by Tuesday Night. So your Elm Street spin-off songs are of course like Dream Warriors by Dokken.
Dream Warriors is the greatest song ever made. So.
Yeah, and then number 2 is Tuesday Night's Nightmare. But anyway, of course we should also a little shout out to Leprechaun Minute there.
Of course.
Yep, nothing like a rapping Leprechaun.
And that was our most successful show. We did every episode. We did the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Although speaking of
Niall, you mentioned Niall. Him one time he looked weak in this movie.
Oh yes.
I thought there was one other time that might fly over some people's heads a little bit. It's when he does a queer joke that doesn't land, and they let it not land in the film.
I don't know if
and
I
you
remember
sit
this.
with it, and he's there. It makes him look stupid, and I thought that was really big of him because he goes, "I got nothing against homosexuals. I even got one of these friends, one of these trans testicles."
Oh, right.
And the person he says it to is just staring at him like, what the what? And they let it linger, and they let you go, yeah, that was crap.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a big thing to leave in, like a failed joke.
Yeah. But I feel now, John, now you have it in your head, and you're on performing as a drag artist.
Yeah.
You have to bring back trans testicles as a term.
Trans testicles.
I'm allowed to bring it back.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's my thing. I can do that.
Mission in life.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I did use because the band NoFX. I actually didn't like them as a kid. Everyone liked them as a kid. I got into them when I was older when they had a song Transvest Light. Because the singer Fat Mike, he likes to wear women's clothes, but he's crap at it. Like he doesn't shave his legs, he doesn't do makeup. But he's like, no, I just like wearing a dress. So that's why why he says I'm a transvestite.
Nice. That works.
Yeah,
that works.
But so two cast members we haven't met. Well, actually 3. I want to mention in particular. Of course, this also features kind of guy in tandem with Robert Englund, another character actor extraordinaire from the 80s and 90s. Jerry Horn himself, David Patrick Kelly.
I love the way you say that. I literally just wrote down Sully every time in my notes.
He's much more in his Sully form, because Jerry Horn always has like the big quiff. Mm-hmm. But this is like he's in Sully form. He's got the floppy hair in this, so it's like, oh, it's Sully. But to me, he'll always be Jerry Horn.
Absolutely underrated actor, I think.
He's one of those guys too. Like I remember way back in the day, because when I read comics or I read any book, I'm always trying to picture in my head who would be playing these parts and what do these characters look like in real life. Mm-hmm. And for the longest time, any Batman media I read, Crispin Glover was always my Joker.
Okay,
but in recent years, I've looked at David Patrick Kelly as like he would have been a perfect Joker.
That would be interesting as well, because he's very short, and Joker's normally seen as quite tall and gangly.
Yeah, it can be quite gangly, but I think like I would like that as a kind of like he's a little imp basically around Batman. But yeah, I think facially though, you put the Joker makeup on that guy.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I'd cast him there.
But he's
I'd take him as a very darker rendition of Mr. Mizzleplex.
Oh
yeah, 100% as well. Yeah. He's but guy's been in a million things, still working to this day. Actually, we're talking during our coverage of The Penguin with of course the great Christine Milioti.
Oh god, that show shouldn't have been as good as it was. That was one of the best programs I've ever seen.
But a weird tie-in that she was in an onstage production of Once, the Irish movie about like the busker.
Oh yeah.
And Christine Milioti was in that. and David Patrick Kelly played her dad.
Surely, with that name, has he got Irish heritage?
He must do. But I've
That's
never
a very
seen him do it.
Irish-sounding name.
I've seen him in a million things. I've never seen him do anything musical. So maybe he's still got tricks up his sleeve, this guy. But then, of course, the little kid as well, who becomes very much at the end, it goes full, speaking of Sully, it goes full tilt commando into like, oh, by the way, kid, I'm your dad now, I guess. And
I love the way he says, hang on, I've got it written down. He doesn't want to tell the kid his dad is dead. So he tries to sort of bluff him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then he goes, oh, yeah, your dad told me that I had to look after you. And it's like, come on. No one's buying it.
But he goes from that and he's just like, it goes into proper, like, and you see this woman standing here. She's going to be your new mother.
Listeners, if you've not heard it, check out Commando the Musical.
Yeah. You don't ever need to see Commando in your life if you just watch Commando the Musical. It's the perfect summary. But that kid is, in fact, a 90s icon in his own right. He's, of course, Hobie from Baywatch.
What?
Way back when, Mitch Buchanan's son. Hobie was that very kid. So I like to think in my head, canonically, his dad actually was Mitch Buchanan. And this is all prequel to Baywatch, of course.
Well, you're talking to someone who's been planning a Baywatch Nights podcast for 5 years.
That's the thing. In my head was like, who would be the worst dad? Ford Fairlane, because he's not qualified to look after this kid.
No. He'd give a kid booze.
But or would Mitch Buchanan actually be worse? Because Mitch is like, not only is he out, watching the bay all day, he's a private detective at night. He has no time for his son.
Yeah, at night he's basically Fox Mulder.
Yeah, so he's
if people haven't seen Baywatch Nights, that's what it turns into. They basically let's make it the X-Files.
Yeah, but they do it in season 2. It's like first season 1's just like, no, he's like a detective, and then the second season's like, no, it's just the X-Files now.
There's aliens. But it's the same character from Baywatch.
Yeah,
you're like, what is going on?
Multiple of the same characters. It's like some
except for Pammy, she's in one episode.
Yeah. But yeah, Hobie, and then I've seen conflicting reports because he only played Hobie for like a chunk of Baywatch. He did the first couple of seasons, and then I think in the IMDb it says that Hasselhoff wanted Hobie to remain young for a couple for a couple of extra seasons. So he basically
troubling.
He got the kid fired. And
not only is that bad for the kid's career, but it's also a bit creepy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But on the Wikipedia, it has conflicting information saying that no, he left to pursue his studies.
Oh, did he?
Okay.
Yeah. No kid wants to study.
But I think that's propaganda by Big Hoff.
Big Hoff has got to IMDb.
And then weirdly, in the same within the same trivia section, they're like, yeah, this actor, the kid, apparently when he's a bit older, had both his arms shot during like a traffic incident. He got in a traffic dispute and had both his arms shot. Apparently he's totally fine now.
Oh, they weren't amputated or anything.
No. But for a second I was like, Jesus, Hasselhoff really wanted him out of the show.
It was a hit, a hassle hit.
It's like they say, don't hassle the Hoff. They fucking made it, all right? Although somehow it turned into like this kid getting his arm shot and Ford Fairlane had to go up against David Hasselhoff. Perfect movie, quite frankly.
Your fan fiction's so weird.
But then, of course, the third cast member I really want to bring up, though, because it's a little tie-in again to a previous hiatus episode from this very hiatus season. And also a Batman link in is, of course, his assistant, Jazz. Is played by I didn't recognize her, and I never do recognize her outside Dumb and Dumber. But it's Lauren Holly, who of course was that snow the Lacey Chabert fucking the snowman we did a couple of months back. John.
What? Jack Frost?
Not Jack Frost, the one we just did, where like she wishes the snow.
Oh God, what? I loved it. What was it called? It was that Netflix Christmas movie about shagging a snowman. Yeah,
that seems to be that's going to be the legacy of the whole. We did
Hot Frosty or something.
Hot Frosty. That was it. And you know what? No, it was actually good. I went into it going, "Oh God, I've got to watch this for the podcast." It was great.
I remember there's a lady who because Lacey Chabert doesn't actually screw him in the movie.
No, I wanted that. I wanted to see it.
But there's a lady in it who does very much want to. And at the time, I was like, oh, that's Lauren Holly from Dumb and Dumber, who used to go out with Jim Carrey and stuff. And I didn't recognize her there. And until when Jazz showed up first, I was like, oh, it's kind of like a Janine Melnitz light. And then when they go in the club and then they have the shameless scene where they have to like make her look extra hot. So like they put it on.
She is hot, and they tried to make her not look hot before.
Well, that's the thing, because she's clearly like gorgeous when you first see her, but then they're like, no, but now she's like took off the nerd glasses.
Yeah, now she's super hot.
Yeah, you take off the glasses and it's a complete makeover.
Oh yeah, totally. Put your hair down a bit.
Yeah. But when she goes in that club scene, then I was like, oh, it's Mary from Dumb and Dumber. But for some reason, whenever she's out of the makeup, I just don't it doesn't register that's the same woman. But of course, then she used to date and co-star with Jim Carrey. So there's a little Batman connection in there. And I did love Jazz. I thought she was a great.
Oh, she's a highlight of the movie. Yeah.
It's a good
I
foil
want her to get therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want her. She needs to get away from him.
Yeah, absolutely. I sort of, I haven't seen Lauren Holly in a lot of stuff, but I sort of liked her. But I don't know, I some kind of empathy of what would it be? What would it have been like to be an actress in Hollywood in the 80s and 90s, and those outfits she was wearing, and you can just picture like Silver himself.
Yeah.
Like, we got to see more ass here.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that'd be funny coming from a character like Ford Fairlane, but in real life, that's not
No,
funny.
I'm talking about the real life.
That's the thing. In reality, if someone was thinking that's terrible, but I guarantee that's exactly what they would do.
Yeah.
The objectification of, couldn't you lose 2 pounds?
Yeah.
We need you to do this.
Well, we've talked about that a lot, obviously, with Batman and Robin, with our good Barbara Gordon.
Yeah. At least the Silverstone.
Because all the press were like, she's really fat. She's a pig. And it's like, what are you looking at?
She's like.
Also, at the end of the movie, we kind of question why Jazz has been in love with Ford, and like he said, I loved ya. Are you looking? Is there a stake behind her? But the worse than the party, the party dress, you get it. It's like, trying to dress up. It's like, oh, hey, the girl secretary turns out to be a hot number. But her casual outfit on the beach, the weird long johns and sweatshirt.
Oh, yeah.
That was so weird.
What's with the sweatshirt?
Thought of by a man. I mean, like,
Suspenders.
Who thought that was sexy and why? It was.
I like it, but I'm a weirdo. So
Yeah.
don't judge what I like.
At the beginning of this, of you saying that, Brett, I was 100% on board. Like, oh, that was the best outfit. And then I'm like, what do you mean you didn't like it?
Yeah, but again, the listeners know both of us are weird freaks now.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the camp of it, but I think it was just like 1990. It's like, wear the leggings that go up to your neck with the suspenders.
Hey, leggings were hot then.
They were,
Especially with
I'd
the
wear that.
stirrup bits at the bottom, the ones that are attached to your feet.
Oh yeah, because you don't want to lose your pants.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Like, they're not coming off.
And there was
They
another
were a big
secretary within the movie as well. I think she's like at the record company. It's like big black curly hair and like little round glasses and stuff too. And I was just like, yeah, this is a good secretarial representation. Within Ford Fairlane.
I think she is one of the best characters, really. I don't know why they hook up, but she
No.
at least as a woman in this movie has a little bit of power and agency.
She has a pretty good fight scene, so I like that.
Oh yeah, she has like the weird, like she does have like, oh, I'm gonna get revenge on this one guy who was like a sleazebag to me, etc., etc. And then they all go off to have like finish the adventure, and then just leave her to herself to like beat the crap out of this guy. And then out of nowhere, David Patrick Kelly gets a redemption arc, and you haven't seen him since the beginning. But like, it seems to be like through his interaction with Ford Fairlane, because he repeats the same line of like, in 10 seconds you're going to have the most embarrassing moment of your life. It's like through getting beaten up by Ford, you become like a better person, I guess.
He improves everyone's lives.
Yeah. At some point, was the sexual predator stalker going to be Jazz's new boyfriend?
Oh my god!
I thought that was where we were going with that. I'm cured. I'm redeemed. My hero.
You know what? I could actually see that being in like the original draft or something. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
In many ways, it would make more sense than the actual ending, because again, Ford Fairlane learns no lessons. Like,
no. He doesn't change whatsoever. He's exactly the same.
Yeah, and at the end, he's just like, hey, I guess I gotta take care of this kid now. And it's like, no, you don't. And no, you wouldn't be a good father.
And I'm pretty sure that's not, like, legal.
Yeah, it's not like, oh yeah, I guess, yeah, if anyone asks, I'm your dad now. It's like, I'm pretty sure that's like called like kidnapping, man.
Where is the mum? Yeah, what the hell?
There's a line where he says something like, yeah, before my mom took off. And I don't know if it's the concept of like, yeah, mom that's kind of transient that comes and goes.
But you've still, at least legally, you've got to try and find the woman, right? I would think.
She's going to come home one day.
But the fact that the kid too is old, because he's already copying Ford, and it's like you're just going to mold him into like you.
So we can have a sequel now, a legacy sequel. Let's get it back.
Ooh. Yeah, because how old is that kid now?
He's got to be 40s.
Yeah, he can do this.
Yeah.
Ford Taurus.
Oh yeah.
Ford Bronco.
Let's shop
Ford
this around.
F-150. Yeah.
Ford Kia.
Gonna have to be like the Ford Fairlane and the Dial of Destiny, where it's just about like how old and sad he is, and everyone's like, I don't want this from a Ford Fairlane sequel. What the hell's going on? But then of course they do just have the thing of like, yeah, it needs to like hook up with and have like a domestic. It has to be like, I guess, domesticated at the end. So it's like, yeah, him and Jazz are together now, and if they did a sequel, Jazz wouldn't be in it
because he'd move on. He'd like Bond,
Yeah, or Indiana Jones, or like even in the freaking first Deadpool movie, which in many ways has like a spirit. It's slight DNA in Ford Fairlane.
Yeah,
it's like
comparison.
They have a whole there's a big like friggin' it's a love story, that first film, and then in the second two it's just like, no, she's just not there anymore, because we don't know
all about that. Yeah.
We don't know how to maintain relationships in Hollywood films. Like everyone has to be like Bruce Wayne can fall in love with Vicky Bale, but you better believe she's gone by the next episode.
Yeah. Because we need to see another hot actress.
Yeah. You got to just bring in more hot women, more and more and more. Nobody cares about the men. We're not going to provide any hot men for you.
Point, it gets by like Batman and Robin. It's just like, I guess we'd have to throw Elle McPherson in here. Like, do you? It's like, he needs a new girlfriend, I guess. It's like, does he?
But I assume we're probably coming to, we're getting our hard out. But before we wrap up, there is one line I didn't say that I loved, right? There's these tourists who want to go to the Chinese theater. And he says, there's a line where it's, go back to Michigan, asswipe. And they say, oh, we're from Wisconsin. And he comes back with, yeah, and I'm from my dad's penis. Get out of here. And I was like, that's the best comeback ever. I'm stealing that.
You're from your dad's penis. That is good.
Aren't we all?
See, that's what I mean, though. Like, it's obscene, but I feel it's like him reined in a tiny bit. Because on his stand-up, he would have made that into something really disgusting.
I mean, it's already kind of.
No, but it's just enough.
It's also slightly...
on stage, he would have made that into some kind of sexist thing, so it would have gone like overboard. Whereas this, it's like, oh, that's kind of funny.
It's also kind of like a slightly misogynist coded as well, because I came from my dad's penis. I didn't come from my mother's ovaries.
That's true.
Not as funny somehow.
Yeah. If anything, you probably come more from your mother.
Yeah.
So
But maybe it was like they tried it and it was like, that's not as funny. Coming out of a dick is like inherently funny.
Go
kind
home
of thing.
to your vagina.
Well, let's be honest, dicks are funny. So they're not. Nobody likes them. They're funny.
Yeah.
They're always flopping around.
Yeah, exactly. They're humorous by design. Yeah.
Dice Clay was afraid of the vagina.
I think he was, because he had another weird line about... hang on, I've written it down. He did have another strange line about vaginas. Oh, yeah. It's where he says, what's the definition of vagina? The box of penis comes in. Oh,
that's right. Yeah.
And it's like, Jesus Christ, that's a bit far.
Yeah.
That seems like something from his act, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But before we do
of his gags,
before we do wrap up though, Brett, Audra, do you have any, as our people who had to go and endure Dice Mania in its original form? Presumably after this episode airs, Dice Mania is going to take off again. Though of course, we're accidentally bring him back.
We're responsible, Niall.
But do you have any parting thoughts about the Diceman himself and the Adventures of Ford Fairlane?
Well, I think this movie is absolutely, back. It's back as a novelty.
Yeah.
It was screened recently at the Alamo, by programmed by a friend we know who's a millennial. And
this makes sense because I know like a few millennial like queers and they love it.
Yeah, it's because it's outrageous.
Yeah.
You can't deny that. And I gotta say, like, I enjoyed how bad it was, but I enjoy a lot of terrible movies from the 80s, as you well know.
Yeah, we're the same.
It's kind of my specialty. So I think there's a lot of like joy from being outraged.
Yeah. Sometimes being outraged isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, God, look at that asshole.
Yeah.
Like, look at that snapper head.
I think that is one thing. Like, I love the youth, right? I think kids now are smarter than we ever fucking were.
We're going to have to come out to John and we'll have to re-edit that to say.
Not like that now.
But in a song, it's like, do not diddle kids. No. It's so good.
But I think the kids now, they're cool. They're smart. They're switched on. But the one thing they don't quite get is when they watch a movie, they'll be like, oh, I didn't like that movie. This character was like really bad.
Oh, yeah.
And it's you don't have to like every character. That's not how it works. Yeah. You can have an awful character in the movie and enjoy that.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a character in a movie. It's not the entire meaning of the movie.
Yes. Thanks, Harry Potter.
Oh, God. Let's not go into
Harry
JK.
Potter kids.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's,
So they showed it at the Alamo, was that?
Yeah, just a couple of months ago, and it was part of Weird Wednesday, which is an ongoing program. We just see the most amazing stuff.
I'd be there every Wednesday. That sounds great.
Yeah, and you can order food to your seat.
Oh, I've heard about this. This sounds revolutionary to me.
It makes every movie so much better when you're eating like Parmesan popcorn. You know what I mean?
A couple of weeks ago, I went to see what did I see? What did I see recently, Niall? I've told you. What's new?
Phoenician Scheme?
It was after I saw Lilo and Stitch. There was something else.
Megan? Didn't you go and see Megan?
It might have been Megan. I went to the cinema and I'd got loads of vegetarian sushi.
Oh.
I sat there with my vegetarian sushi because I bought the seat that had the table. So I had that and then like 4 beers, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm happy here. This is good.
I have to say, like, the cinema in my hometown, they have got the seat to service food thing going. Like, that's one of their big things. Is like, QR code. If you want a Coke, you just go like, and then they just show up and it appears next to you. It's incredible.
They do have that here at the theatre, but I mean that in the English sense. Theatre being live performance, So when I went to see Kinky Boots, I did get some drinks delivered to my seat.
Wow,
that's nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. But to bring things back, though, of course, because the man who brought us here, of course, is Dan Waters, the original screenwriter for Batman Returns. He won't let you forget it. And just one note I wanted to end on with him, because sort of somewhat tying into something you said earlier, Brett, about people's relationship with Andrew Dice Clay, whereas like Rennie Harlan had a great time working with him, et cetera, et cetera. And then it just noted in the trivia, it says, in an interview in Movie Line magazine, screenwriter Dan Waters said that working with Andrew Dice Clay was traumatic.
I bet it was. Yeah.
Waters was happy that Clay later said that Bobby Rivers wrote the movie.
Oh, wow.
Which is great to say. Like, he just instead of remembering the name Danny Waters, he's calling him Bobby Rivers.
But Bobby Rivers. Yeah.
Bobby Rivers. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Again, I feel like it's Dan Waters is probably seeing a lot of his dialogue just get literally torn out of the book by, there are definitely flaws with this movie, but it's not all on it. You gotta say, it's not all on Andrew Dice Clay. It's not he showed up and said, I'm making this movie. Somebody hired him to do it. Somebody thought, oh, this would be a great idea.
He delivered what he was asked to do.
In many ways, though, it's still somewhat like it does deliver on what it's promising, but also, again, should emphasize there's a scene in this where Morris Day of Morris Day and the Time is dancing with Al Bundy, celebrating a song that Al Bundy's character has written called like was it booty something?
Booty time, booty time in the USA.
And so I just needed like 20 minutes more of like things like that, like more stay, more Ed O'Neill, more all that.
No, I mean, I would say my sort of word on this is I loved this film, right? I genuinely did. I thought I was going to hate every second of it. But to love it, I have to divorce it from what little I know of Andrew Dice Clay. Like, if you separate it from what you've heard about him, what you've seen, you know, all the stand-up, as a film, I thought it worked. I thought it was great. And I don't understand why it didn't do very well. Maybe it's because people knew of Andrew Dice Clay and were like, I'm not seeing that.
Yeah.
Because if I knew about him beforehand, I would have said to you, Niall, I'm not doing that.
Right?
Yeah.
But
Dice
it works
was very polarizing.
Exactly, but it works in this. To me, this is the way to harness what he does without it being too offensive. It's offensive enough, you know?
Yeah. I would say I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think it's a film I would stick on, and like I had people around, I was like, oh, we'll put on Ford Fairlane. I would say it's enjoyable, but you, the audience member, has to know better, basically.
Oh, yeah. You've got to be above the film. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't go in thinking, and walk away thinking, this is my new personality.
No.
Like he's some sort
Having
of
said that, I'm going to say, for the next 6 months. So.
In fact, though, I do love his jacket. It's the best bit of menswear I've seen since Hugh Grant's cardigan in Heretic. His cowhide jacket in there.
And I know you wanted that cardigan, but wasn't it like £150?
Yeah. I'm wondering now though, if like Andrew Dice Clay is just giving away this jacket. But yeah. I mean, I think we've gone through all the adventures of Fairlane is fit to rake. If that's
unless we want to talk for another 6 hours, yes, we should probably.
I'm sure we could.
I would happily do that. But would both of you like to promote anything? Do you have anything coming up, or even something you're just into? You know.
Oh well, so I think I've mentioned this before on your shows, multiple shows, but I'm part of a all Weird Al burlesque troupe.
Hell yeah!
The first and only all Weird Al burlesque.
Well, I should hope so. If anyone rips you off, then screw them.
Oh, I'm coming after them with a shit. But that's okay. So we're called Titan Nerdy. And
best name
ever. We were followed by documentary filmmakers for many years, like 6 years.
Oh wow!
We've been performing for 10, and then they followed us for 6. And so there's a documentary. It is done as far as I know, and they're sending it out to festivals. It's called it was called Showgals. So if you type in Showgals,
I thought that is what it was called. Has it changed?
They changed it. They changed it slightly. Yeah. So, but if you type in Showgals, it's going to come up, and pretty excited. We saw a rough cut, and it's real. You know, like these guys are serious. They worked on the Osbournes, like they're reality TV guys, and this is their fun project.
That's awesome, because the Osbournes was one of the first to do what it did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, people might criticize, reality TV. Yeah, okay. But nobody had done that at the time.
And you know who apparently tried to star in his own reality TV show in the mid-2000s?
Oh, my God. Andrew Dice Clay, was it?
Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh, my God. Right. Were there episodes of this?
I think he said that it never made it to air, but there was many filmed, and they were making him do, like, they would put like a grill on his teeth and like throw him into like a rap club and things like that.
Oh my God!
Just to see what happens. Maybe
YouTube.
YouTube. That's might be.
Because you're talking to someone who's obsessed with the reality show Hogan Knows Best.
It sounds like it's very much in the vein of But I think he ended up complaining to VH1. I think who made it because they're just like, just let me be me. You know, what the hell you trying to dress me as something else for him?
To be fair, he is a character anyway.
Yeah.
You know? So Brad, have you got anything?
Well, I was going back to Audra's movie. I saw the rough cut. It's a really solid, good documentary. So whatever the working title is now,
it's
okay. But it's a running title.
It's right now.
It's a solid documentary. I hope you get to see it soon. And these guys followed Audra's trooped around for 6 years. They only introduced themselves last year, which is a little odd.
Oh, wow.
But no, I'm kidding about
That's
that.
kind of half expected. And they're still here. They're actually just off to the corner.
Yeah, they're there right now.
And then
that's a bit crazy if like we watch the movie and there's like footage of Audra recording for Batman or something. We're like, what the hell? We're in this.
Yeah, I mean,
I might have talked about it.
sort of, kind of, yeah.
You better have.
Coincidentally, there's a little low-budget independent horror movie that I directed. Spent 5 years of my life working on that. I think we're sticking with The Return of the Great God Pan because you like a long title like that.
I do,
but
and I like Pan. So.
Then you're gonna like this movie. We've been on the festival circuit. We had a great screening in Mexico City, and right now we're doing select screenings. I think it's definitely a word of mouth kind of movie, and we're hoping to get it streaming somewhere where you can see it. But otherwise, I can privately clue you into our screener copy on Vimeo. So The Return of the Great God.
That's only for me and Niall, not you listeners. Screw you all. Screw you all. You're scum. I've never
Brett's
ever
movie.
Oh,
Sorry.
I've never ever done this before. Niall, have you got anything? Have you been a guest on anything? You guessed more than me. You see?
Was actually. I think both of us were recently guests on tying into this Deep Blue Sea minutes.
I was on Deep. Has that been on yet? I don't know.
I think those guys they've gone through the movie twice apparently.
Yeah, this is the second go through. Yeah.
So, of course, there's another Rennie Harlan movie. I was recently on. Friend of the show, Darren Houston, has been doing the Carry On movies, which are very, very, very English.
Oh, fascinating.
That's the most English thing ever, and not necessarily in a good way.
No. I don't think even he likes them, but he's going through each of them. We're on talking about Carry On Constable, which is a very old, very dated. And I think the big
best one's Carry On Up the Khyber.
I saw Carry On Nurse. Very weird.
They're all that weird.
Yeah.
But they get more body as they go on. They just get relentlessly body.
It's literally just an excuse to do a sex joke every 2 minutes, basically.
Within our remit, though, John, I would say big thing this summer is, of course, Peace Girl Summer. Our combination reviews of Peacemaker and Wednesday.
The logical combination.
Yeah, both going into their seasons too. And, of course, our upcoming... I'll say much delayed, it's just slightly longer than usual, but we will of course be back with Bat Minute 66 within the next couple of weeks, basically. Yeah, so
it's coming, baby. It is coming. When you hear this, it's imminent.
It's just because it's so much. It's one of those things of just looking at this giant banquet of like getting to talk about the Adam West era of Batman. Yeah. It's just like, where do you even start? Like, it's just like, holy.
Well, that's a good place to start.
It's crazy.
That's a fantastic movie.
Is that the original show or the animated movies they did a couple of years back?
Oh no, this is the original, the old school 66, like shark in the leg.
It's the movie of the show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a great.
And
movie.
we might cover the show on the Patreon, maybe. We'll judge that based on the reaction to the season about the film, maybe.
No. Yeah. Let's just go in and like, you guys get to talk about Burgess Meredith. Oh, you get to talk about Cesar Romero. Oh, you get to talk about Frank Gorshin. Oh, you get to talk about Julie Newmar, and then by extension, all the Catwomen. Oh!
Maybe. Oh,
I'm gonna make a point of just like having an episode dedicated to Eartha Kitt, even though she's not in the film.
I don't care. I don't care that she's not in it. Screw it. She's the best.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say it. Definitely have us on for that one.
For sure.
Then we can segue over into Skidoo, the really weird Otto Preminger movie that features 4 major Batman villains. Coincidentally.
That is crazy.
That's another story, but have us on for the Batman 66.
We shall.
Minutes.
You know what? I never heard of Otto Preminger until I was made to watch by a sort of ex, sort of not. I was made to watch Cecil B. Demented, the John Waters movie.
Oh, yeah.
Which ended up being one of my favorite films ever. But because one of them has a tattoo of Otto Preminger. And I was like, who the hell is that? So I went then and check them out.
Great
Down
director.
the Preminger hole.
Yeah. Although one of the highlights of my life is when I jest as Cherry from Cecil B. Demented, the porn star character.
Oh,
Yeah.
And Alicia Witt, who plays her, shared the picture of me. I was like, oh, this is the greatest moment of my life. I was like,
That is so cool.
I know. I was like,
Alicia
how
Witt.
cool
That's
are
very
you?
cool.
To quote
Very
Otto
cool.
Preminger in Batman, that's wild.
Yeah,
Wild.
that's right. Otto Premature, the director of Skidoo, is the original Mr. Freeze. And
Incredible.
there's, like I said,
He's
Skidoo has this weird bat connection.
Promise
he's
us you'll watch Skidoo.
Oh,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Promise us
Yeah.
on air.
But he's
On
also
air.
he's the second Mr. Freeze because they go it's Shere Khan from the Jungle Book is the first one.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like
Oh,
he's
is
got
that-
hair
okay.
and he's wearing like a smoking jacket and he's just like a normal looking guy. Then he turns
Oh,
into
is it George-
bald, ginger eyebrowed Otto Preminger, and then he turns into
Okay.
Eli Wallach, and you're like,
Yeah.
is it the same guy or what the fuck is going on anymore?
You've got to just accept it, Niall. You got to just move on.
But Otto Preminger's
with
one
it.
makes the biggest impact because he's just got like so many weird things going on. Like where you're like,
Yeah.
he's made an indelible impact on that character.
Well, listeners, we'll let you go and enjoy your weird things. And you know what? You look beautiful. Afterwards, I'll take you out, throw a burger down your throat. We'll have a great time. We'll have a great time. And
So romantical.
I know, it's the sexiest thing I've ever heard in my life. If someone threw a burger down my throat, oh! Yeah. And as of recording now, as Springsteen said to Madonna, who can fuck in this weather? Oh!